Shalom. I am Rabbi Nathan Davidovich, speaking to you on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. I hope everybody is well. Those in need of refuah shlema should have refuah shlema. I'm going to speak for a few moments about one of the two parshot today. The two parshot this week are Parsha Bechokotai. I'm going to be talking about Bechokotai. Bechokotai, which finishes the book of Vayikra, contains the blessings and the curses. It's called the Tochacha. The blessings if you keep the commandments of God, the curses if you don't keep the commandments of God. My subject today within that context is when a blessing becomes a curse. And the Netivot Shalom points out that, in fact, blessings, especially of wealth, can become a curse. And when the Torah talks to us about rewarding us, it seems to contradict what we know from the Talmud. The Talmudic saying is that Ein schar ba'olam hazeh, schar b'hayal maleka. There is no reward for doing mitzvot in this world. So with that brief introduction, let's talk about what this means. First of all, the Parsha Bechokotai begins as follows. Eile Bechokotai, im Bechokotai seilechu, if you will walk in my statutes, that's mitzvot tishmoru, and keep my commandments, vasisim osem, you will do them. And if you do them, Rasati gishmechem be'itom, I will provide rain in your seasons, in the proper time. Vanosna haaretz yevula, the land will give its produce. Eitz hasada yitem period, the fruit trees will bloom, etc. Clearly, sounds like a blessing. And the Ramban says the reason that gishmechem is mentioned first, I will give you your rains first, because the rains the rains have a purifying quality, clear the air, purify the air, and it helps the rivers to be healthy and helps people to be healthy. It says health is the most important thing. That's an interesting comment where we're all striving for health these days. But now after that introduction, just a few sentences later, the Torah says as follows. After it's talking about the reward, apparently reward for doing the mitzvos, it says, I will establish my mishkan, my temple, my tabernacle amongst you. Lo sigal nafshi eschem, and I won't hate you. V'yisalachti b'sochem, and I will walk in your midst. V'yisalachem Elohim, and I will be to you for God. V'atem tiyu li l'am, and you will be to me for a people. That sounds like a repetition. So actually, no. The Netivot Shalom points out that the first bracha is a bracha of gashmiot, of material things. This last thing that I read, where I will walk amongst you, v'salachti b'sochem, v'yisem lechem Elohim, I'll be your God, refers to a spiritual bracha. In fact, Rashi comments that what this means is I will walk amongst you, be amongst you in Gan Eden, in the Garden of Eden, and you won't be frightened of me. You won't be frightened of me. We'll walk together. So the question is, why does this particular portion just come a few sentences afterwards? It seems that it would be enough to have the first bracha. I'll give you a bracha. You do my mitzvah, I'll do the bracha. Netivot Shalom points out that in a bracha, in every bracha, especially one of wealth, there can be a downside. And he says, as it says, "B'pnei sheyesh b'schar v'yuta k'mom rakasa v'yishuman shuram v'yabed." And later on in Devorim, Parsha Hazinu, the end of the Torah, just about, it says, you'll grow wealthy and you'll have everything, and what'll happen? You're going to grow fat. Yeshurun refers to Israel. Yeshurun will grow fat. They'll be too satisfied with their material things, They'll feel that I've accomplished this myself, and they'll forget God. So what he's putting here is this blessing here. He says, Netivot Shalom says, this tells us that in order to really enjoy the physical bracha, the gashmiut, that Hashem is giving us at the beginning of this parsha, we have to have a spiritual aspect to it. We have to have Hashem protect us from falling into the error of saying, this is all my doing. You had nothing to do with it. It's like the guy looking for a parking place. Oh, God, give me a parking place. Please help me find a parking place. And he sees a parking place. Never mind, I just found one. It's the same kind of concept. He points out that we have to recognize that all of the good comes from Hashem, and the way to keep from reaching a level where we think that everything is from ourselves is to put all of our material desires on an aspect of, is this the Ratzon of Hashem? Is this what Hashem wants from us? And he goes on to say, he says that it seems like with Rashi's interpretation that God will walk with you as if in Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, the afterlife, in heaven, and you won't be terrified of me anymore. He says that seems to be that there won't be Yiras Hashem, fear of God. And he points out, no, because the sentence says, I'll walk in your midst, but then I'll be your God. The word Elohim refers to Yira, to fear of God, to reverence of God. And he points out that there are two aspects of creation, and there's two aspects of Yira, of Yiras Hashem. You can fear God out of literally fear, or you can fear God out of love. And he points out that Shabbos is the perfect example. Shabbos is an example of total love of God, because God is giving us this wonderful mitzvah of Shabbos, surrounding us in the balloon, the covering, the airspace of Shabbos, wherever you are, and it's only love. He says, it says in the pasuk, this will be a sign between me and the Jewish people. Shabbos, it's only love. The Zohar HaKadosh he brings down, the Holy Zohar, says the word Bereshis. Bereshis can be composed, can be broken down. Those letters can be termed Yira Shabbos, fear of Shabbos. He says, doesn't make sense. Shabbos is all about love. How can you have fear? So he says the great love of Shabbos, this explains the other pasuk as well. The great love that we have for Hashem is so intense that we want to be so careful that we are fearful that maybe we will do something to interfere with that love. Yiras Hashem. And it says the greatest bracha of this parsha is to bring us to Yiras Hashem out of love, to be able to fear God out of love. I can't end without mentioning one comment about the Tochacha. The Tochacha, when we read it in the synagogue, normally the Baal Koira reads it, the Torah reader reads it at a very low voice. You can barely hear him. There's a story about the old Klausenberger Rebbe, the first Klausenberger Rebbe who lost all his family in the Shoah. He's in shul in New York at the time, and he hears the Baal Koira reading in a low voice. And he gives a clap. He claps out as he makes a noise. He says, Hecher, which means Yiddish, louder. And the Baal Koira thought, I didn't hear right. And he goes on reading in the same low voice. And again, he claps his voice. He claps his table. He says, Hecher. And then again, Hecher. He goes, Hecher. The guy doesn't understand. Afterwards, he explains, why did I say, read it loudly? The Klausenberger says, because we have already received. Remember, this is somebody who's coming out of the Holocaust who lost all his family. He says, we've already received all of the klola, all of the curses. All that is left, he says, is the bracha, the blessing. And for that, we have to live in Eretz Yisrael. So I give all of us a blessing that we shall only see blessings in our life, only bracha, no klala, health and happiness. I thank everybody for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, and I wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom.